wilderness in the past, our people was hard-headed, stiff-necked, rebellious, and the Most High purged them. And the second wilderness is America. I'm going to read that right now. Revelation chapter 12. Revelations, let's see. Revelation chapter 12. I'm going to read on down because you have some demons out there with some false prophecy talking about Revelation 12. People don't know these scriptures, man. I'm going to read on. Revelation chapter 12, verse 1. And this is like a 2-hour breakdown, but I'm going to just skim through real quick. Revelation 12 and 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head the crown of 12 stars. Who is the woman? The 12 tribes of the children of Israel. It's symbolic. The Most High said he counted our people as a calm and delicate woman in Jeremiah the 6th chapter, man. I'm gonna skim through it because the point I want to bring out. And she being with a child cried. Who is that child? Yahawashi. Travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. Behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns. It's all symbolic talk, man. Who's that dragon? The Greco-Roman Empire. Daniel, the 7th chapter, goes into the 4 kingdoms. The Babylonians, the Persians, the Greeks, the Romans. And he also described them with having 10 horns, the 10 common markets, and the 7 heads, the 7 power structures of Esau, man. Okay, which are the Greeks, the Romans, the Brits, the French, the Spaniards, Germania Minor and Germania Major, man. And of course, the 8th head is America. But it says, and 7 crowns upon his head, and he drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven. Who's the stars of heaven? The Israelites. Who's the 3rd part that the Romans conquered? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the 3 tribes that were left. That's what that's talking about, man. They ain't talking about no Roman Catholic Church. Alright? Anyway, we're going to read through the power of Yahawashi. And they cast him to the earth, and the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, to devour her child as soon as she was born. And that was what? Yahawashi. Because they passed a decree to kill the Hebrew male children when he was born underneath Herod Agrippa. Just going through it quick. Okay, if I was to spend all day on this, I'll do all day, man. But it said, stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it were born. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations, Yahawashi, with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto the Most High, unto his throne. Yahawashi went back to the Father. It tells you that in Acts the 1st chapter. And the angels told the apostles, the same way he leave, he's going to come back with them chariots. But this is the point. Verse 6, and a woman fled into the wilderness. Now this is the second wilderness, which was Africa. After 70 AD. When Titus and Vespasian destroyed Jerusalem, the real Israelites ran into the north and eastern part of Africa. Okay, that's where the Lord ran to actually when they passed that decree to kill him as a child. He ran into Egypt, man. Because the Israelites had strongholds in Egypt already. Then later on, they met up in the western part of Africa. Okay? So that's the second wilderness in the scriptures that we ran to. And we stayed in Africa for about 1,500 years, man. The southern kingdom. The northern kingdom already came here on this side of the world, you Hispanic tribes, after the Assyrian captivity. Okay? So for the sake of time, I'm just skimming through it real fast. Alright? Read on. Verse 13, Revelation 12 and 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, which is all symbolic, ain't no real dragon came from the heavens, man. It says, he persecuted the woman, the Israelites, which brought forth the man-child. That was during the time of the Romans. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness. That was Africa. Into her place, which is north for a time, times, and half a time, from the face of the serpent. So that's like 1,500 years or so or more. Okay? And where did we go after that? We're going to read. And that's talking about all the way to America, man. From Africa to America, man. That's what we read. Joel chapter 3, verse 3. So we fled in the wilderness again, which was Africa, man. Where we got led captive to America. I'm going to read Joel chapter 3. Joel chapter 3 verse 3. It says, and they have cast lots for my people. They did cast lots. What was the triangular slave trade? We've been brought from Africa, the western coast primarily, which was all different parts of Africa people were scattered to, man. But the western coast primarily to the Americas, man. From the Americas, they sent what? Oh, cotton was one of the main resources, man. Okay, fruits, sugar cane. Because Europe is a dead land. They don't have no resources, man. Sugar cane, cotton. They send that to what? Molasses. Okay? They send that to where? Europe. And from Europe they send what? Wine, musky guns. Okay? Certain textiles they sent to Africa. Read on. They have cast lots for my people and given a boy for a harlot on them auction blocks. Sold you for a harlot, man. Sold you for wine, man. And sold a girl for wine that they might drink. So sold to Mr. Jefferson. Okay? Sold to Mr. Washington. Okay? They did that right in America. And our people forgot that, man. That's a part of your heritage, is slavery. Americas, South America, and of course America being the main part, man. Verse 4. Yea, what have ye to do with thee, me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine, them Arabs? Will he render me a recompense? If you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense unto your own head. So none of these nations could give the Most High anything for what they did to his people. No sacrifice, no resources, no amount of money. Alright, verse 5. Because he hath taken my silver and my gold and carried them into your temples, my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah, which are you so-called African Americans today, and the children of Jerusalem, which is what? Benjamin and Levi, the rest of the southern kingdom, you West Indians and you Haitians. Have he sold unto the Grecians, the white man? Come on, it's right there in the Bible, man. Alright? Sold unto the Grecians, that he might remove them far from their border, okay, which was the land of Israel. And we got sold here, went into the wilderness, Africa, and came onto this side of the world in slavery. See? Bring out a couple of more precepts. This is also hard. These are beautiful. Isaiah chapter 43. Isaiah 43 verse 4. Also proof where the Israelites are, man. These scriptures link hand in hand. Our history is only found in the Bible, man. Okay, not that madness they teach you in school. Only thing they teach you in school is about Martin Luther King. That's it. That's your history. Martin Luther King, Martin Luther King, Martin Luther King. They don't even teach you where you were prior to slavery. Okay, like you had no history. You are no people prior to slavery, man. That's a lie, man. You're the greatest people ever. Okay? That's why the scripture says, Isaiah chapter 43, verse 4. Isaiah 43, verse 4. Since thou wast precious in my sight, thou hast been honorable, and I have loved thee. Therefore will I give men to thee, and evil for thy life. Fear not, for I am with thee. I will bring thy seed from the east. Where were we before? The Middle East, and we're in Africa, man. The eastern part of the world. And I will gather thee from the west, right here in America. That's right here in the Bible. Most God said he was going to take us from the east, and he was going to gather us from the west, right here in Babylon. So this is where the main deliverance is going to be at. And other parts of the globe, but mainly in America. That's why the scripture says, I'm going to read it. Micah chapter 4, verse 11. Chapter 4, verse 11. It says, now also many nations are gathered against you, and they all gathered against us. Alright? Then they say, no, verse 10. Micah 4 and 10. But in pain and labor to bring forth a daughter of Zion. See? Most High compared us to a woman. That's that woman in Revelation, the 12th chapter. Like a woman in travail. So now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, the world. And thou shalt go even to Babylon, right here in America. And thou shalt go even to Babylon. There thou shalt be delivered. That wasn't talking about ancient Babylon. We were never delivered out of ancient Babylon. Okay? The Persians just took right over. Okay? We're going to be delivered out of this Babylon or this America. This land of confusion. So I'm going to read it again. Micah 4 and 10. But in pain and labor to bring forth a daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. So now thou shalt go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. There thou shalt be delivered. There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies. All glory to Yahawah, Hashem Yahawashi. We are in the time of Israel's deliverance, where the Most High is going to redeem us by the hand of his Son, man. Alright? That's why the scripture says, that's why the scripture says, I'm going to read this precept. So I went through that today briefly through the spirit of Yahawashi, how people were wicked in the first wilderness, how we arrived in the second wilderness, and this is the third and final one. After the deliverance, Ezekiel chapter 20. Ezekiel chapter 20 verse 5. It says, and said unto them, read from 5. And say unto them, thus saith the Lord power, in the day when I choose Israel, and that day is coming up right now, and lifted up mine hand unto the seed of the house of Jacob, and made myself known unto them in the land of Egypt, when I lifted up my hand unto them, saying, I'm the Lord Yahawah. In the day that I lifted up mine hand unto them, to bring them forth out of the land of Egypt, into a land that I espied with them, flowing with milk and honey, resources, which is the glory of all the land. Hold on one second. This is it right here, Salakia. Ezekiel 20, verse 34. And I will bring you out of the people, and I will gather you out of the country wherein ye are scattered with a mighty hand. And that's about to happen, because we're scattered all over the world, man. But like I said, the main deliverance is going to be in America after the Third World War. With a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with the fury poured out. And that mighty hand is Yahawashi, with those chariots, man. And I will bring you into the wilderness out of the people, which we don't know where that wilderness might be. You know what I'm saying? It could be in South America, we don't know. He's going to do it again, this time again. And I pleaded with you, verse 35, and I will bring you to the land of the wilderness of the people, and there would I plead with you face to face, Yahawashi. Like I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith the Lord. Okay? And we're going to go gather the Israelites that don't get beamed up. We're going to go gather them, man, out of these different lands and these different countries. Started with his elect men, and we're going to bring them to the wilderness. Verse 36. Like I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith the Lord. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and will bring you into the bond of the covenant. What covenant? The new covenant. Alright? But what's going to happen? We're going to read on. Before, those other Israelites pass under the rod of the covenant. What's going to happen to the ones that don't get beamed up? The ones that we're going to go from land to land and gather them. And I will purge out from among you the rebels, the ones of our people that don't want to hear what we're saying. Okay? You Israelites down there in the Amazon, different parts of the world, that don't want to forsake your idols, y'all going to get put to death right there in the wilderness. And the rest of y'all going to be changed, man, and pass underneath the rod of the covenant, the new covenant, which is the law written in your inward part. Alright? It says, and them that transgress against me, and I will bring forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter the land of Israel, and he shall know that I am the Lord. So the ones of y'all that don't want to hear this message, when after the nuclear destruction, man, y'all gonna get put to death right there in the wilderness. Okay? And y'all gonna have to be born again through the elect men of the Lord and the 1/3. Alright? So a covered all aspects today briefly through the power of Yahawah with all this freaking noise in the background. It didn't matter anyway. The word of the Lord still went out. Okay? The same way how we had to eat that manna in times past to make it in the wilderness, we got to do the same today. I'm going to read 2 precepts. John chapter 6. John chapter 6, verse 27. I'm going to run through it. It says, labor not for the meat which perishes, but for the meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him hath the Most High sealed. Read on down. Verse 30. And this is our people saying this. They said therefore unto him, what sign showest thou them, that we may see and believe thee? What doest thou work? Our fathers did eat manna in the desert, as it is written, he gave them bread from heaven to eat. And I just read that account. But this is what Yahawashi said, man. Then Yahawashi said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, Moses gave you that bread from heaven, but my Father giving you the true bread from heaven, man. Verse 33. For the bread of the Most High is which cometh down from heaven and giveth life unto the world, man. Which was his body. And his body is in the form of this book. That's what the scripture says, receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save thy soul. Because Yahawah's spirit is in this book. Okay? Jump to, read on down. And who is that bread? I'm going to read it. Verse 47. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me have everlasting life. Okay? I am that bread of life. Your fathers did eat manna in the wilderness and are dead. This is the bread which cometh down from heaven, that a man may eat thereof and not die. I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever, and the bread that I give is my flesh, which I shall give my life for the world, or Israel, man. That's that world that he came for. And what's that bread? What's that bread in form of his body, which is the form of this book, man. You gotta believe on him as the scripture has said. Okay? I'm gonna read this first. So we got that true bread, that living bread. They ate manna in the wilderness, but we eat this manna, this book. It's going to lead to everlasting life. That's why I'm going to maybe close it out on this, man. All this noise today, man. But the word still went out regardless. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1. Moreover, brethren, I would not that he should be ignorant that all our fathers were under the cloud and all passed through the sea. This Paul going into the account. How we came out of Egypt, man. Verse 2. And were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea. And did eat the same spiritual meat. That manna, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Yahawashi. Read on. But with many of them the Most High was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. So there we go, another wilderness scripture, man. All right. A lot of our people gonna get destroyed right here, man. Now these things were our examples. See? So we look at our forefathers, how rebellious they were. We can't be the same way, man. Alright? Because that's sin according to the Most High, man. It says, now these were things which are examples, the intent we should not lust after evil things as they also lusted, neither be idolaters. Okay? Getting caught up into these carnal things, man. And into these people. Making these people as idols, these celebrities. Let me read on. Neither be idolaters, as were some of them. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink, and rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication. Which is, in this case, it's talking about what? Worshiping other gods. Alright? As some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000. Read the book of Numbers 25. Neither let us tempt Yahawashi, as some of them also tempted, and were destroyed of serpents. Neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed of the destroyer, man. Murmuring up against the leadership that the Lord set up, that's going to lead to your demise, man. Stay in order, man. Examine yourself and look upon the old examples of old. Okay? We can't be like our stiff-necked forefathers, man. Because if you're stiff-necked, that's going to lead to your ruin. Okay? So with that, I'm going to close it out. Today was, had to deal with the elements, deal with the noise, had to battle, but also edified, man. Nothing can be done against the truth, but only for it. So that, I'm going to close it out. Giving all praise to Yahawashi, giving double honors to the elders, honors to the Akim, peace and blessings to the 1/3, the brothers and sisters that listen, the hopeful elect. With that, I'm going to say shalom.